I had a video go viral at the end of May for t-shirts that finally gave me $1,000 day. I hopped on YouTube, found your video breaking down like how you would find a winning product. Like I still have the notes. I sent them to you, a screenshot of step by step what your process was to find a product. And when I said that, she gave me that look. And then a month later, I'm like, hey, I just made $8,000. She still didn't really believe me. I did it again. She still didn't really believe me. I did 11.
Jevin, thanks for hopping on, man. Super excited for this video. I think there's a lot to learn for a lot of people. Real quick, you mind doing a little intro?
Absolutely. So my name is Jevin Chaney. I do TikTok shop, UGC, basically everything content. I used to be a special ed teacher for 8 years in the public school system. During some of that time, I started a woodworking side hustle hobby that then became my full-time job. Living in a small town, it was harder to get the better paying clients. So I've had to adapt into custom merch. Custom patch hats was the big thing for quite a while. Sold thousands of hats. And during that time, I was like, you know what? I've made good content. I grew my Instagram to over 100,000 in 7 years, multiple million plus views. Just learning the process, staying driven. My whole goal was to get new free tools for the shop. Being on a teacher's salary, I couldn't afford some of the nice stuff. So let's make some content and get some free tools. That definitely happened. And then I got to the point where, okay, I need to make some money. I saw on TikTok, everybody was doing TikTok shop and making just life-changing money. I can make a video. Let's hop on it and do it. So, I have now been doing TikTok shop for 14 months. August makes 14 months. So
let's go.
And in that amount of time, I just did the math. I'm just shy of 800,000 GMV.
Unreal. Let's go back a bit. You were working full-time, making $29,000 a year, correct?
Yep.
Talk about that and what that was like. And then when did you know you wanted to kind of be your own boss and get into woodworking? Like, what made you make that jump?
So the school system in general, as the government or the state starts to get more into it, like the school system is way different than even when you went to school. And you and I are 11 years apart, I believe.
Yeah.
And you just start to see the shift where the teachers have a little less say in things. And with my job, I kind of had it was the best of both worlds because I did severe. So I had kids that like we would stay in our own room all day. And so I was kind of my own boss in my own room. And as long as I didn't have kids swearing or taking their clothes off and running up and down the halls, which absolutely happens, most of the time everybody left me alone. So I could do my own thing. But at the same time, all the paperwork, all the extra stuff, and I mean, about $3,000 a month. It wasn't adding up. Now, it also gave me the freedom, because that'll be everybody's counter to that is, well, you have summers off. That's true, but I worked in a factory to make enough to pay for groceries for all the months that it didn't make enough. So
in the summers, you'd work in a factory?
Yeah, so I worked in a glass factory for 5 years, and for when my son was born, that summer I worked a swing shift. It was a 12-hour shift, but it was third shift. So I would go in at 6 p.m. and clock out at 6 a.m. And so instead of going on and off, I would just watch my son. That way my wife could sleep on my off nights. So that kind of worked out. But yeah, you just kind of had to grind and figure out a way. But as far as like labor intensive, we would walk 11 to 12 miles every shift carrying 1,000-degree windshields because they would get bent. And you would do that for an hour straight. And then you'd have an hour where you would do your paperwork and move racks around. And it was a heck of a workout, and thankfully it was only summer help because some of those guys, I don't know how they do it
all year round, full time.
Yeah.
And where was your mind at during this? Is this just like the norm in your, like, is this kind of just like what you always saw growing up and this is kind of what you expected yourself to be doing? or were there a lot of like conflicting beliefs and thoughts during this time that you should be doing something bigger or more?
That's a good question. So I knew in second grade at recess that I was going, there was one, I don't remember what day, obviously, but one day at recess in second grade, I knew that I was going to be a special ed teacher.
Wow.
One of the girls in my class got like huge, real thick glasses. All the kids were making fun of her. It really ticked me off. And from that day, all I wanted to do was help out kids that weren't as privileged
Wow.
or didn't have it as easy as that. Like school, knock on wood, was like I could do nothing but flirt with girls, go to sports, and still get B's. Like even in college, like college was a breeze.
Wow.
And I had a lot of fun. And so being able to give back, I guess, or help out the people that weren't as lucky. I don't know how else to word it, but that was just always my goal. And so from a financial standpoint, knowing that I'm going to be a teacher my whole life, I just know that I'm not going to have any extra spending type of money until I'm a 20-some-year-old teacher. And that's when your scale starts to go up. And so mentally, that really like puts you in a different spot. And now doing this outside of teaching for 4 years now, almost, 4 years. I've learned a ton about business, but more so the mindset. Like if you don't have the mindset that you deserve, which my mom hates it when I use this term, but that you're allowed to make more than what you ever thought. That opened up so many opportunities for me once I was able to actually believe that.
How did you, I guess let's get to TikTok now. You started your own woodworking business. You were getting free products and everything from it. You were going viral, and I'm guessing you realized, oh my God, other people are going viral and making a ton of money. I might as well monetize this more, right? Generally. And then talk about Shop, the beginning of Shop. I know you had a little bit of success early on, but I think the mindset is very important that you were talking about.
Yeah. And so this coming full circle is kind of the crazy part. And I've told you about this, but when I first got into it, I hopped on YouTube, found your video breaking down like how you would find a winning product. Like I still have the notes. I sent them to you, a screenshot of step by step what your process was to find a product. And so after a little bit of reflection, I mean, I know how to make a high quality video. I had no idea how to sell anything on it. That was a whole nother learning curve. But I'm like, if I could find a product that I actually believe in and I think someone would buy, that's what led me to the health and supplements for the first 10 months of selling. That's when I landed on Root Labs, the Alpha Gummies. I'm sure everybody listening has probably seen an Alpha Gummy ad. And I'm like, you know what? My T levels are low. Let's go for it. And that was kind of when everything was a little bit more lenient. So you could say a little bit more
of things.
Yeah, a lot more things. And so I think like my 8th video, I don't know if it got picked up for ads or not, but it went viral and it did like 1.2 million. And so that in the health world, I think that was about an 8K month commission. And then
that was your first month?
No, so that was like my second, and I have it pulled up here, but yeah. So like I full-time started in June, like the middle of June, and bring home there was like $500. And then July, I went viral, did 43K GMV and brought home 8.
That's very solid for your second month.
Yeah. And then I hit another video that is now just shy of 20 million for Alpha Gummies. And that's done pretty well and continued to do well for months after. So that was kind of what got the ball rolling. And once that GMV starts rolling in, you start to get more openings for different products, and you think you have it figured out, but you don't. And I think a lot of my story is scripting and learning how to make a script for pain points rather than features. Was big.
So let's talk about that. In the beginning, did you really know what you were doing when you hit those big months? You didn't know what you were doing. This is very common for a lot of affiliates probably listening to this. You hit a big month. You're on top of the world. Ego goes up. Stop learning. You crash. Slow months. Typically, you'll quit. So like what happened after those? I know you had a few solid months. And then looking back at it, what do you feel you were missing to be able to, get to the next level, which you're at now?
I think the biggest thing was, so when I first started, the first one that went viral, it was a copy of Brandon from Skateboard B. And
Yep.
so he crushed with Alpha with Root Labs. They sent it to me and I'm like, oh, I can make this no problem. Not knowing that you should probably tweak it a little bit, all the nuances that once you're in it, you really understand. But since then I was like, and I was still at the point where, okay, they want to pay me $500 to make 40 videos this month. I got to impress them. And so I was still under the mindset of let's go to AI. Let's write 40 different scripts. Every single one has to be totally different. The hook, the body, the CTA.
Yeah.
And so like when I say I spent 6+ hours for months on scripts, that's what I mean, because it didn't click until like 6 months in. It's like, no, you dummy, you can take the body of a product is almost always the same, right? You might change your pain points, but the product still does the same thing. Your hook can always be different, and a CTA, if you believe it actually matters, you can always change that up too. And so forcing myself to understand what a pain point is and how to then structure that emotionally to suck them in. And anybody that's done health will understand you can't just hold up a bottle of alpha gummies and say, this will make your testosterone better. No, there's no way to really like prove that versus an act like a water bottle, for example. You can see that it holds water. You can go over the features and show people. And so that outside the box thinking, it took a while to get there, but I'm very glad. So now that I've switched to the other products that I've switched to, I'm bringing what I learned from health and implementing it into fashion.
Why, at what point did you want to start working together? It was after you had a few slow months, correct?
You and I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes. So health, I mean, I'd been through 3 accounts. 2 of them got the shutdown. Health in general is very stressful. Just because every post you make, you don't know what mood TikTok is in that day. You don't know if one thing that worked yesterday might not work today because it'll get flagged. And honestly, health it doesn't come natural to me. Like I enjoy understanding it, but it's not something that I'm going to wake up today and research the crap out of this product.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't hit home. I went into health for the money aspect and thinking it was going to be easy because everybody's going to take supplements at some point in their life, which is still true, but it is not easy to sell. And so I had some low months. I mean, I was averaging, before you and I met, I was averaging almost $300 commission a day.
Which is very solid.
Yeah. And so I never had $1,000 day, but I mean, I have the spreadsheets to prove it. Almost every single day was between 250 and 300 for 8 straight months or however long it was. And then after January, I just started to see the dip, and my account was acting weird, and it mentally put me in a really bad spot. I wouldn't say depression, but if you can picture something, it was close to that, just because it's an ego thing, but it's also like, this is my job. And and one of the things my wife said to me when I first started the woodworking was, should you go back to teaching? And she didn't understand the impact it had on me, but it instantly, all the emotions flood in, because me running my own business and her saying that is basically calling me a failure. And looking back, I'm glad she said it. Because it kind of lit a fire under me, and
I'm sure. But
at the same time, it just, I don't know, all the emotions flood in. And I remember in June, I looked at her. We were sitting on the couch and I said, I'm going to go all in on TikTok. And she gave me the look of, okay, because I had kind of been shifting between woodworking and the merch and like trying to find something that was consistent income that I didn't have to go clock in for. And when I said that, she gave me that look. And then a month later, I'm like, hey, I just made $8,000. She still didn't really believe me. I did it again. She still didn't really believe me. I did 11. And we could see the bank account start to actually grow instead of us going check by check. And now I can't even fathom, like it still hasn't sunk in to the level that fashion has helped me get to.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. You switched over to fashion.
Yep.
What was that switch like from supplements? And then I do kind of want to talk about features versus benefits, because I think a lot of creators struggle with that. And you do a really good job of that with fashion. But talk about fashion. What was it like starting with it compared to supplements? I know you joke about it takes you like 45 minutes, but
Yeah. So looking back, the data was there. If I would have actually been open to looking at it, I remember Fashion Row sent me a 3-pack of their hooded sweatshirts that didn't even fit me, mind you, because again, being a big guy, not all these little TikTok shop places fit me. I threw it on. Terrible video in my living room. It did like 700,000 views over a span of a time, but it still makes sales periodically. It's kind of weird. But there were like 5 other clothing videos where I just made one video and all of them are over 100,000 views and have sold. I should have tracked that a little bit better than what I did. But what the nail in the coffin was health. Not only did it make me irritated, stressed, and angry all the time, but it also got to the point where it wasn't making me money. And so coming back to the question of why, when I joined, my whole goal was, well, this isn't working. I'm going to keep posting because of retainer deals, honestly. Like that was what was keeping me afloat. But if I can start doing UGC, I know how to make polished content. That's going to be easy too. It wasn't overly easy to start with, but
it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, TikTok shop in the grand scheme of things is a lot easier, but yeah. And so I had a video go viral at the end of May for t-shirts that finally gave me $1,000 day. And that right there was like, you know what? I can, and the video itself is what helped me with the mental shift. All I did was show the pain points of a normal shirt for us big guys. I expressed it on camera, and obviously it resonated with a lot more people than I ever thought once I finally niched way down. And since then it's been pretty good.
Do you think there's less coming from supplements into fashion? Do you think there is not as much competition when it comes to scripting and going into pain points and getting really specific with the ICP for fashion compared to supplements?
Yes. So in supplements, I have to go extra hard because all a pharmacist or a doctor has to do is throw on their white coat or their scrubs.
Yeah.
And they instantly will get more credibility than I ever could until I get to those pain points that are so specific to that one person.
Yep.
That's where your sales come from. And because I don't get the time of day right off the bat, because I look like just a normal dude with a faux hawk, they're gonna scroll past me and go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And that's just how it was. So you had to get good at those insanely detailed pain points.
And then bringing that over to fashion, what was that like for you? Pretty simple to do?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So for supplements, I have to do the research to figure out what it even like remotely does.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of time. Where with fashion, I've lived those pain points all 35 years of my life.
Do you think more creators in fashion should get more specific with who they're selling to, opposed to just going super broad? Like for you, you're 6'5", 275.
Yep.
Right. Like you're selling 2 big men in the hook or 2 wives that are married to big men. It's so specific. Do you think more creators could get more specific with fashion?
100%.
Yeah.
And so what proved that for me is for like the first month after switching to fashion, which would have been like May and into June. I think my hook for every single one was fellow big guys, if you're struggling with blah, 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 blah. Once I switched it to ladies, if your man's rocking a dad bod like this, and you have to show them that I don't have abs, I'm not jacked out of my mind, I'm just a normal dude, but I'm just taller. And so I automatically I'm believable. I'm not hiding anything. And I'm calling out the people that are actually buying. Like if you look at the stats, women are buying significantly more online than men are. And men are typically, unless you hit those pain points directly, men aren't going to buy clothes typically.
They just don't care as much.
Correct. And that's why like a lot of this unbranded stuff sells really well, because guys don't really care if it says has a swoosh, or like as long as it fits and it feels good. And so once the data is there, once I started calling out the women, and my following just skyrocketed, because it's all these older ladies that are into dad bods apparently, or have a husband that has a dad bod. And so the followers have went up and the sales have significantly went up.
So let's go into numbers a little bit, just because everybody probably, it's the fun part. Let's talk a little bit about last month, what happened last month, and then flowing into this month. And then like specifically, how many videos would you say that was from when you mentioned the numbers?
So, I mean, from October to January, I did 1,500 videos. Once I've switched to fashion, it's a minimum of 6 a day. I try not to go too much over that. And I've found that that's like my account sweet spot. I think, not to get into the weeds, but everybody's account will do something a little bit different for whatever reason. It all boils down to good content, in my opinion, but
completely agree.
But sometimes you'll have that wacky one that you just had to throw together because your sample was due in 15 minutes and it just skyrockets. So, but yeah, so for numbers, in the health realm, I was averaging anywhere from 45 to 55K, almost platinum every single month. And then once I switched to fashion in June, 82K commission, or I'm sorry, 82K GMV.
I'm going to clip that and use that as the hook of this podcast.
a little over 10K in commission for June. And then July, last month was good. There were a few videos that were on the Daily Virals top 11 throughout the month. And so I finished last month at 208 GMV and brought home 27.
Oh, it was 27 commission?
It was, so the last 3 days just
21.
It exploded in the last couple days of the month.
What was your highest day commission that month?
Where's it at? 5,200. Yeah.
What was that like? We were texting a bit that day, and I'm like, when I experienced massive days, I remember just feeling on top of the world.
Oh yeah.
What did you feel like are you looking at the phone constantly and just seeing like $500? Like what was that like?
Nope. So how do I explain it? I've come to the conclusion that the numbers are what they are, right? Like I was blown away by those numbers, but I can't control any of it. Like those are all coming from things that I can't control at that point. Like I could have posted a video that day. It might have sold 10, maybe, but all the numbers are coming from previous videos. And so I've went viral before and watched the numbers, like you're sitting there, refresh. And then it gets to a point and then it stops. And then that high goes away and then it'll pick back up. And it's like, you know what? I'll check it around noon, because that's usually when I'll start my posting for the day. And I only check the commission number, and more so the GMV, so I can see, okay, this is kind of how today's going. And from there, I'll go back and see what's selling and then what video. So
do you remember what you were at noon on that 5K day?
I don't even think I checked that day. I think I was busy with calls or other stuff.
Yeah.
And then I looked before bed and it was like 3,200. And I'm like, holy snipe. I mean, like, whoa. And then I wake up and I always check at 7 a.m. the next morning. Like I have a whole system sat down and my mouth just dropped. I instantly go into being grateful mode, like just
Wow.
gratitude. I mean, it's 5,200. That's almost 2 months of, and I'm to the point I'm trying to stop comparing it to teaching. Like we're on a
It's
totally
hard.
different level.
It's hard.
But at the same time, I was mentally at that $3,000 a month for years. And so just to see that is, I don't know. It's amazing.
$27,000, just did quick math, would be like 9 months
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Wow. That's unreal. And then you finished the month at 27,000. Now we're 11 days into August. Do you
Yep.
have an idea of kind of like what we're sitting at?
Oh yeah, I track every day. So GMV is 88K and commission is at 12 so far.
Yes, you're averaging over $1,000 a day this entire month
1,200.
so far.
Yep.
Wow. Where's your head at now? How are you looking to proceed? And then maybe talk a little bit about the gratitude thing, because I think that was really cool. We touched on that on a group call a bit, but
Yeah. Mindset is pretending it's not there. And I think that kind of goes back to the being grateful thing, but like I don't know if it's for anybody else, but I would get to, even on my good days in health, like we would go out to dinner. It's like, oh, okay. I just paid $100 for dinner for all 5 of us, because that's astronomical anymore. But it's like, oh, well, that's like a quarter of my day's worth. No problem. And so you would justify like every little, and I don't recommend that to anyone. You should definitely think much, much bigger scale.
Yeah.
But because I got I was so used to making $250, $300 a day. That's just how I mentally did it. Now, because of the struggle, like I broke even for 2 months this year. So I think it was March and April, between the expenses in the shop, because I'm still doing stuff in here, and the groups and all the AI stuff, like I broke even. And so to go from making 8K plus to breaking even, it's kind of like running into a wall. And so the mental shift into, I was mad. And that's when I was like, you and I talked quite a bit at that point of like, what am I doing wrong? And it's an ego thing too, because the views were just awful. And then then mentally you think, well, everybody hates you. And looking back, I'm so grateful that I went through that period.
I was just going to ask you that.
It taught me, it teaches you that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. It might not be in your time, but whether you believe in God or the universe, however you want to word it. I pray every day, read the Bible every day. And if anybody out there is listening and struggling, go into being grateful and just see what happens over the next 2 weeks. We literally get to stare at, and I talked about this in our call, we stare at this little rectangle and tell people to buy something, and we get paid for it.
Yeah. Talk about being grateful for those slow days that you had. And then I genuinely feel when you can be grateful for these slow days, it changes the way you approach the work, and you will make better content. If you're every day approaching the work from a negative headspace and you're down on yourself, like you're on camera. How would you ever expect to come across and make solid videos and work from a place of abundance opposed to like just being so negative? So do you think that you started to be grateful and it seemed like it just blew up after that? Do you think there was actually some sort of correlation?
Oh, 100%. And you don't realize it at the time, but like you got to start being grateful, get away from the numbers, get away from work in general. Like I was to the point where I was grateful that I was given the personality that I have. I was grateful that I was given the brain that I have to figure out how to make videos. That I was grateful that I was given this building to be able to do it, that I could afford a phone. Like there are people in this world that couldn't even do this because they don't have a phone. Like, I mean,
Preach.
just little things like that that we always take for granted when we're wrapped up in all the other stuff. And trust me, I understand that it's hard, but I think that's part of the journey.
I think it's so important to experience those low months because it's inevitable. I've experienced extremely low months similar to you. And I think now with the highs, I'm extremely grateful for it. But the way I approach the money is like, I'm just going to keep this because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, I do think in abundance, but it's also different when you experience those lows.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this could change at any given second. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm doing content. You never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
And I think you just approach it a little bit different than when you just have the back-to-back highs and you're like, oh my God, I'm on top of the world. Like, this is so amazing. Yeah. So,
and a lot of that comes from maturity also. Like, obviously I'm in a much different position in my life than you are. And some of the other, I call you kids in the group. I mean, I have 3 kids. I've got a wife. We've been married for over 10 years. So we've went through the struggles, the day to day. And then, but I can also see it from a young kid standpoint of, okay, I just made 20K. I only need $3,000 a month to live on. Let's go get X. Let's go get Y. Let's go get Z. And I mean, we could talk a long time about this, but you need to look at the big picture. If you want to, like, TikTok Shop is great. It can be great. It can also be terrible. It's super volatile. Like if I don't bet, but if I did, I would not put my money on TikTok. I would teach the crap out of it, but I wouldn't gamble on it because you just never know. With the money that you get, you should start figuring out, okay, how can I make this money work for me? How can I turn what I just made today into double tomorrow? And so I think if you start, I mean, you don't have to dive into it, but use that capital to multiply. And once you start thinking that way, like think bigger. Like that's kind of what my whole personal brand is about. Think bigger.
One thing as well, I wish I had known earlier or thought earlier is platforms are always evolving, changing. I don't see TikTok Shop doing anything in it. Like, we're not saying this to make it say TikTok Shop's going away. We're just saying things are always changing. What never will change is the skill of content. At the end of the day, what I recommend as well, invest into your skills as a creator. Like I'm constantly trying to find better creators to get around. Even when right now, I feel like I know more about content than I've ever known in my life. And I'm trying to be the dumbest person in the room constantly. So invest into yourself as a creator, invest your money, obviously, put money away for taxes. I just was on a podcast yesterday with Nick G, who became a millionaire from, selling TikTok Shop accounts, which is absurd, And we were talking about taxes, and that was like no one talks about taxes. So find a good CPA. But yeah, as a young kid making a lot of money, you got to buy the things. I bought the things, but it's not going to do what you're expecting it to do. So do both, put money away as well.
And think bigger.
You're going to wish when it slows down that you had the money in your account opposed to the car in the driveway. I guarantee it. But so you're at 12K this month. You did 27 last month. It's like $50,000 in the past, or is that 40?
49, yeah.
49, sorry.
No, 39, I'm sorry.
Oh, 39.
Yeah,
39.
Yeah, it's good. We're not there yet.
As you can see, I'm great at math, but any do you have any goals for the rest of this year going into Q4, or is it just to continue to be grateful, focus on the process, and control what you can control?
So I think one of the things that I've been trying to do is the daily virals is great, but I want to be the person that comes up with the new trend or the new style or the new thing. And so taking the time, I spend a lot more time on Calidata, honestly, because then I can compare top videos for certain products. But taking my mind off of the numbers. Cause if it were me, like I would do the visualization of, okay, this month I'm going to hit 100K and this is how I'm going to do it. And I have found that the more that I get super specific about a goal, the opposite happens. And so that's why reverting back to just being grateful, whatever comes in, but I can focus on the input. And instead of spending 30 minutes a day focusing on numbers, I do a little bit of research. I figure out new pain points, all the different, or learn something new about content that I didn't know. Like right now, I'm really interested in the marketing aspect of everything and how all of Meta and the back end of all the things work. It all goes together, which makes you a better creator in the end. But I guess one of the last things to leave you with is, if you want to make money, you've got to put in the work. And this is, I'm going to rip today on a personal brand, basically calling people out. Like if you make 3 videos a day, great, make 5. If you want to do exponential, no, I'm on a call. It's okay. And so if you want to continue to rip, you have to put in the effort. And if you're not going to, then just stop lying to yourself. Get out of your own way.
Yep. Yeah, completely agree. This is not easy. I always tell people, if you want to get into it, I 100% recommend everyone does. Expect it to be like one of the hardest things you've ever experienced in your life. Maybe not physically, right? And everybody has had different experiences, but there will be a lot of this and a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of doubts that you'll have to overcome. And I genuinely feel it's one of the best things you can do, because you'll learn a lot about yourself throughout the process. And try to find people too. Like if you're isolated, it is going to suck. It's going to suck. You know, I'm living with 3 people who do content, and it's like one of the best things ever, because we're all on the same. There's no limiting beliefs. There's no people pulling us down. There's no people making secondhanded jokes about like, oh, you're doing that little whatever. Like none of that. Anytime any of that is in my space, I get it out really quick. So just be very intentional about who you're around. Surround yourself with people, even if it's online, and just don't stop. You know, blows my mind. $29,000 a year, and you just basically made that in a month. And you're a year in, relatively to starting any other business. That's like very early on.
Correct.
Very early on. You know, in affiliate world, people are like, oh my God, you've been doing it for a year. That's so long. It's not long at all, honestly.
Yeah, it's really not. And it's hard because we're surrounded with it. It's hard to get that thought through your brain, because all you're ever doing is comparing. And that's another whole aspect of it. Stop comparing. Like if you're in a low spot, get off the app. Like just don't even put yourself in that space. Post and go away. Yep.
I agree. Completely agree. This has been amazing. Also, one other cool thing, Jevin will be helping out inside of Affiliate Academy, which I'm freaking pumped about. Anything you want to add on that? Just as far as like, I feel you're really good at explaining things, helping creators, and seems you enjoy it too.
And so that's kind of where, I know I talked about having the capital, and instead of buying a car, invest in something. And that's I knew I wanted to be a teacher at 2nd grade, and I want to continue to do that. I want to be able to take what I've learned and help people get there even faster. And so being able and blessed enough to help out within a really, really good community. If you're on the fence about it, there are a ton of communities out there, and you can make your own decision. Some of them are awful. Others are great. It really boils down to you. However, until I took the plunge into something that, like, I paid into it, obviously, but it holds you accountable. Like if you want to pay into it and not do it, well, then that's you wasting money. But if you want to go in there, be active in all the chats, all the calls, you're going to get something from every single call or conversation. And the amount of connections blew my mind once I was in there. I mean, there's someone in some little corner of content for everything. And yeah, I mean, if you're on the fence and you're able to do it, 100%, like it's only going to gain you some form of value, and it'll help you with your identity, in my opinion. Like I needed help with my identity at the time. I didn't know where I was going, what to do. I thought UGC was the answer. Turned out I like it, but not enough to give up TikTok Shop. And so,
Yeah, I agree there. One thing Jevin mentioned, there's a ton of communities. One thing I recommend is just make sure the people that you're learning from have done the thing. Like Jevin's close to 1 million GMV. I've done 4 million GMV. All of our other coaches are absolutely crushing. If you're going to learn from someone, it would be a little bit silly of you to learn from someone who doesn't actually do TikTok Shop or hasn't done it at any high level. So just make sure you do your due diligence. But yeah, I'm pumped, honestly, to have you a part of the team, and honestly feel honored. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, help a lot of people, and you'll keep scaling as well. So that'll be sick. But yeah, if you guys want, down below, there will be some sort of application or page you can check out to get more information on Affiliate Academy. And thanks for watching the whole thing. Make sure you guys subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
sounds good. Thank you for having me.